Hi, I'm Jim Atkinson, Managing Partner for Avidian Wealth Solutions. Today we're speaking with Gregg, founder of RJ Capital. RJ Capital was integrated into Avidian in early 2023. Gregg, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Gregg, one of our core values is transparency. And in keeping with that, we like to ask some tough questions and get your transparent answers. These are questions that most firms probably don't want to discuss with advisors that have transitioned because they're going to be a little bit more difficult. Does that sound good?
Sure, absolutely.
Gregg, let's talk about your staff. So how has your staff handled this transition? Any areas of concern, pain points, any complaints you're hearing from them?
No, I don't think there has been any real complaints. The only complaint would be that we've had to ramp up our knowledge on Avidian software and how they like their day-to-day in compliance done. And so you get a little grumbling because it's something new and it's not part of your everyday routine. But gosh, now after 3 to 6 months, those start to go away. And the person that's still complaining is maybe me,
okay,
because it takes me out of my day-to-day. But I'm getting used to it.
Is it the technology, just harder to adapt?
It seems like it always is.
You've got a young staff, so maybe they adapt a little.
I think you're right about that, right? I'm the one who's unwilling to change their day-to-day, but every day it just gets easier and easier. Now I just told a client the other day that, gosh, I wish I'd done this 3 years ago.
I think that leads me into my next question, which is around transition. So there's changes, there can be a challenge of the custodian, technology,
yes, processes,
compliance. Anything in those areas that you've seen have been troublesome or difficult for you or the staff?
Not troublesome. The transition from, we have performance tracking software like most firms do, and that transition from our old software to the Avidian software was a little bit clunky, took a little bit longer than we thought, but we never had an issue with client meetings. As we told our clients, like, look, this is going to take 6 months to get this over. The clients didn't care. And what you do is you build up that fear in your own mind.
Sure.
But that was probably the only transfer piece that slowed us down.
Okay, you mentioned 6 months. And at Avidian, we have a transition period that we define as 6 months. So do you feel like we were able to stick to that time frame, or?
I think so. The only thing I would tell guys coming in that I think I failed on was I was so concentrated on transitioning our current clients over and getting used to the everyday changes is that I forgot to prospect. And so what I found myself is that my third and fourth quarter was very slow for new business, and it scared me. But what happened now is now we're into January of 2024, and we just had the biggest January we've ever had. So don't forget about the prospecting piece of that as you're transitioning.
So speaking of prospecting, you took a little time off, you weren't doing that, you got back into it. Has it been difficult to get back into it, or since you've been relieved of compliance and operations, some of these hats you're wearing, is it now easier?
It's very easy to get back into prospecting because I have the time now, right? Because what I found in the last 2 to 3 years of my own firm is I saw my growth flattening out. And I couldn't understand it until finally I was like, look, I can't I don't have the bandwidth. I couldn't prospect and wear all the other hats at the same time. So now it's easier to get back into it. The first couple of months, though, you're thinking, what am I doing with my time? You sat at my desk, like my day has changed. Now I have to start micromanaging when I'm going to prospect and how I'm going to do that.
What I saw was you took some time off, and it was great because you had a birthday party here at the office, as you recall, and I saw your wife.
Yeah.
And she had a big smile on her face. And I asked her, I said, is there something happened? You seem really happy. And she goes, I kind of got my husband back, and we're going to go take some time and do some things. I kind of felt that there was this pent-up energy that you wanted to get out there and enjoy yourself, and you did.
We did. We went to Ireland, and it was, I just didn't stress as much as I normally do about missing something, because I knew you guys had it. You were going to catch it.
That's great. Let's talk about clients.
Yeah.
So in these transitions, it's expected that you'll lose some clients. I'm curious, how many did you lose?
We lost 2, maybe 3. But what I told my guys, and just the way I think about it, is that the people that leave you while you're in this transition, they were probably going to leave you anyway. You just didn't know it. And this is a catalyst to allow those clients to make that change. Look, it's business. You're going to lose clients. Every year you're going to lose clients, but you got to be prospecting to replace those clients and take 2 steps forward. Maybe 1 step back every once in a while, but you're got to be taking 2 steps forward. So yeah, we lost 2 or 3, and it always hurts when you lose a client no matter what. But we replaced it with new assets from clients, and now we're replacing them even more with new clients.
So let's stick with the clients that left just for a second, because I think most advisors are going to look at this and say, clients can range from clients that bring in very little revenue, very small, kind of inconsequential, to, my book would be blown up if I lost the top tier clients. So where do these clients fall in that you lost?
So interestingly enough, the clients that we lost were the least profitable, and they were exceptions we made on our fees, and which should tell you that maybe that client's not appropriate for you anyway. So the ones that we lost actually weren't as painful as you might think.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So let's talk about clients that brought in new assets, so maybe share of wallet. You saw share of wallet go up?
We did, and I think it's partly due to increased services. Right now there are, and we have, our wheel of services that we offer at Avidian, and we have in our presentation deck, we have that wheel. And I always tell clients, like, look, of the 5 or 6 services that we offer, I always felt like we did 4 of them well at RJ Capital. We picked up 2 though, and it helps sell that story to clients and prospects, and then also to be able to gain referrals from your current clients, because now your clients will be able to talk to their friends like, hey, gosh, they made this great change, you should really go look at them.
It's enhanced your ability to attract new clients, which it sounds like you've done, having your biggest January ever.
And I think that's part of it too, because we had all these meetings with clients to transition over, update them on the accounts, showed them these services, and now we're seeing referrals. It took a while, right? Because like I said, in the 3rd and 4th quarter, I got really nervous, like, gosh, we're not seeing new business, and now all of a sudden we're seeing a lot of new business.
Let's talk about these services and how you're saying that you picked up a couple. So previously you did a lot of the services in-house, yourself and with your team.
That's right.
And now you're leaning on Avidian and their folks to do this. Have you seen a decline in service levels? Do you think that's a talented staff that's been helpful in bringing in new assets and new clients? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say just my own ego, I didn't want to let go of doing that service myself, right? Whether it be the planning piece and building a plan, or whether it be making all of the investment decisions for clients. But what I have found is clients are very receptive to our team that we built at Avidian, our team aspect, where instead of Gregg's wearing all 3 hats, whether it be planning, investments, in compliance, now I can say, look, we made a couple of really big hires at Avidian, and these planners and investment chief investment officers, these are big hires, and they bring more capability than I had. And so what I've found is, like, leaning on my team members and bringing them into meetings with current clients has been very helpful.
Gregg, you were wearing a lot of hats, and now you're not. And you were also really the CEO, if you will, sole decision maker at the end of the day, and you had to give that up. In our early conversations, that was a struggle. You were concerned about losing that control. And so talk a little bit about that, because now you're a team member, you're one of several partners. How does that feel, not being the sole decision maker?
It's taken some time to get used to. Jim, you and I wouldn't be in this business if we weren't competitive, right? So we ultimately think we can do it better than our competitor. So I knew going into this that I was going to be giving up some of that control. But I do feel like a lot of that, I guess, fear is taken care of on the front end. Because when you choose your partners in business, you better do your due diligence on these firms that you're looking at doing business with, and make sure you choose the right guys. I feel like at this point, I've got it right. I mean, we don't know what we don't know, right? And we've had very few disagreements, and we need some disagreements to see how people are going to react at some point, probably. But I think most of the front end work that you do is choosing the right culture and the right partners. I think we got it right.
There are always these unforeseen issues that pop up.
Sure.
And those are the ones that I think create challenges. Has there been anything unforeseen on your side of this?
No, there's been some business challenges, right? I mean, as a firm, you know, when you lose advisors, it's just like clients. You're going to lose advisors and you're going to lose clients. But what are we doing to replace those people that leave? And what are we doing then to grow past that? Right? So I try not to get too much into the weeds on short-term, you know, issues and say, look, I didn't become a partner of this firm for a 1-year play or a 2-year play. I may have become a partner for 10, 15, 20 years out. So are you going to have some setbacks? Is it going to be disappointing? Yes. But you better take a longer view, just like you tell your clients, look, our portfolio, take a longer view. You need to do the same in this business as well.
I think that leads me into my last question, which is when we started talking, you mentioned, you know, I really want this to be my last stop. This has got to be the last place I go. I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
Oh, indeed. All right. You know, look, I was self-employed for 22 years previous to this. I could do it again, but I don't want to. Right. So this better be the last stop for sure. And I think it's all choosing the right guys you work with. And I think on the front end, we got it right.
Like I say, on behalf of the firm, I've enjoyed working with Les. You and I have known each other for a long time, 15 years, but we never worked together at the same firm.
No.
Literally, our offices are right next to each other.
Small world,
and I really enjoyed working with you. It's great having you walking around here in our hallways. And thank you for stopping by and chatting with me today.
Thank you. Appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.